Welcome to Narrate Your Story TV. My name is Dr. Christy Iwuchukwu, and I am super excited for today's show. This is the show that we bring to you every Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's right, every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So what do we do in this show? This is the show that we bring world leaders, entrepreneurs, and individuals with stories of overcoming and triumphs to share with you life lessons on how to navigate life and businesses. And I am super excited because when I am not doing this show, guess what else I do? I teach female entrepreneurs how to create impactful and captivating stories that align with their offers so that they can convert sales. In other words, I help you package and sell your expertise using storytelling. I'm super excited for today's show because our guest today is Dr. Linda Lara. So who is she? She's the founder of the Firehouse Community Development Corporation. She's also the partner program. The partnership program she spearheads as the executive director and founder of the accredited Future Elite Academy and the Do You movement. They are excellent resources for individuals to support the youth and adults. Listen, I don't want to waste any more time because I'm about to bring her to share what she does best. Please help me welcome my guest today, Dr. Linda Lara. Welcome to the show.
Well. Thank you so much, Dr. Christy. I'm so excited to be here today and share with these awesome, amazing, wonderful ladies that they too can become all that they were designed to be. I'm so grateful to be here with you.
I am so glad you're here. Welcome. So for people that don't know who you are, please tell our listeners, who are you?
Well, I am Dr. Linda A. Lara, and I am the founder and executive director of the Future Elite Academy and the hashtag Do You movement. And I'm also the co-founder with my husband with the Firehouse Youth Development Center, where we empower unprivileged youth to help become the best version of themselves. And actually, every program that we have does just that. Empowers, whether it's ladies or teenagers or men or whatever age, is to help them see themselves as God sees them.
Awesome. So, people see you now, and I've always said that we see people as what we consider to be at their pinnacle. They are on the mountaintop, but we don't always know the journey that got them there. But you gotta walk through the valley before you get to the mountaintop, and it is in that walk through the valley that we learn the greatest lessons. So share with our audience, our listeners, how was that walk through the valley for you?
Well, I agree with you, Dr. Christy, because, people always see you today and say, wow, look at, how successful, or look at how great they are doing, and look at how amazing their life looks. Little do they know that everyone has a backstory. Yes. And you all start somewhere. Something happened that brought you to the place you're at. And I will be married almost 50 years. We've been married. Yes, I know. That's
Congratulations.
Thank you. I tell everybody that's not the miracle. The miracle is I'm only 25. So if God can turn water into wine, he can make me married for 50 years at 25.
That's great. That's great.
So during that time, we were very young. Okay. And of course, we had our struggles. My husband was on narcotics and he went to prison. And I was living a very rough life too, also. And we had our struggles. I was on welfare. I got pregnant. And really, really, really thought that that was the life I was dealt. There was no hope for me. There was no change for me. And little did I know that God had a purpose and a plan for me that was going to change my destiny, change my future, and not only change my future, but every generation after me. And so once we knew that the lifestyle that we were living of drugs and alcohol and violence and gangs and, you know, all the inner city things that people who are grown up in the inner city culture experience, that there was a way out of that lifestyle. We thought, you know, this is what we were dealt. This is how we were born. This is the culture we live in. So, you know, we're just going to have to make it the best of it. But that wasn't true at all. One thing I did always do is value my education. I love learning. To this day, I love learning because I truly believe you can only take others as far as you have yourself have gone. So I continue to get educated. I continue to grow in different areas and gain wisdom and knowledge and understanding so I can help other people get out of their situation. So once I realized that I did not have to be stuck there, that there was a way out for me, and that Jesus had a wonderful life in store for me. And this all happened when my husband was in prison, because while he was in prison, he had an encounter with the Lord also. And so God's working with him in there, and he's working with me out here. And I got a prophetic word that everything that I had gone through, I was going to be able to use it to help other women. That one day I was going to be on the other side of helping other women. And I'm thinking at that time, I'm thinking, yeah, right. How am I going to help anybody? I'm so tore up. I'm so broken. You know, how in the world can I help anybody else? But little did I know that it was going to be my experiences and the wisdom I was gaining, the understanding of truths that were revealed to me, that I was now going to be able to help other women change their lives, empower them, and pull out their greatness.
You know what? You are, thank you for that, because I've always said that you cannot give what you don't have. And if it
Mhm.
hadn't been for those experiences that you gained throughout your journey in the valley, you probably wouldn't be able to understand what somebody else in that situation right now is going through. So thank you for that. So I see you around. And
Mhm.
congratulations again for your doctorate.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank
And,
you.
you know, when it comes to women, there's this thing, and I came for that place, that part of my journey, part of my being. Not only was I shy, I just didn't have that confidence to be who I am now. That confidence because I was unsure of the unknown. But I believe there's an inherent power within all of us, but it takes somebody special to bring it out of you. And trust me, they said it takes a village to raise a child. For me, it's taking village, countries, continent, and
Yeah,
so many much more to be here
yeah,
today. And
yeah.
you and I do similar work with women. What does empowerment mean to you?
It means finding the value in every individual. Every individual has value that's locked away and stored away. And when I see women, my first thing is to try to help them bring the gold that's in them.
Mm,
Okay? Because we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have purpose, we all have something significant in us that God put in us when we were born. And what is that? What is that gold that's in you that has been purposed to you? The Bible says that He gave us gifts and talents according to our ability. So He's seen what we are able to do, and He gave us those gifts and talents according to the ability that we could be successful in. I like to tell people I don't have the ability to opera sing. and
Tell
I
me about it.
and I won't demonstrate. Okay. But if I continue to believe that this is what I was wanted to be all my life, I'm going to be very discouraged when I'm not up on an, in an opera theater singing. Okay. And see, a lot of times this is what we do. We try to become something we don't have the ability to do. And if we don't have the ability to do it, we're never going to be successful in it. But there is an ability that we have to do. There is a value. There is something in us that we can do. What is that something? What is that goal that's in every single person? What is that that brings value to the world? Because, everything that we have, everything we do is not just designed for us. It is designed so that we can help change the world. It is so that we can help lead the world. Think of all the investors and all those people that have created something, right? They didn't create it just for them. The light, electricity, the cell phone, the iPad I'm on right now, the laptops, everything is created for the value of others. And so if we do not discover our value, we are limiting other people from being able to grow and become successful in their value. Look at Zoom, how popular, and even what we're on right now, StreamYard, how
Yes.
popular it came during COVID, right? Little did the investors or inventors know at the time that COVID was going to happen, and we were going to be using these, right? These different types of streamlining, but God knew. And if they would have never created it because of low self-esteem, low self-worth, no confidence, not believing that, it was possible, and all the negativity that stops us from creating and being who God designed us to be, we would not be on this right now. So you have to remember, God created you to be a blessing. God created you to lead in some type, form, way of creation. And you are valuable. You are so valuable to the world. And if you do not see yourself as valuable, you will not get going.
Today we're sharing this because the show today is all about embracing your uniqueness. That's right. Embrace your uniqueness, because oftentimes we look for things on the outside while we already have everything we need. But what we need is encouragement, empowerment, inspiration from someone else. Because I'm the one that believe in mission possible. I believe that no matter what situation you find yourself, that if you can give yourself permission to go outside the zone, outside the comfort zone that you know and you hold on, and let me tell you, it's not an easy journey, because I can already tell from my own journey, it wasn't an easy journey getting out of your comfort zone, because let's face it, the fear is there to protect us. What if anything happens? What if I mess up? What if I fail? Now what? Why come to find out that what if I fail? There's so many women just like me thinking about what if I fail? What if I mess up? But if they can see me, I became a role model for them that allowed them to say, oh, if she did it, I can do it too. And so talk to me about the journey that you went through to get here. We kind of touch about it a little bit, but there may be somebody watching this and saying, wow, really? When you were going through that journey in the valley, what were the life lessons for you?
Well, that's what the hashtag do you empowerment movement is all about. It's about my journey. And that is realizing that nobody can do me but me.
Mm.
I don't have to be in competition with anybody. I don't have to be jealous of anybody. I don't have to be envious of anybody, because nobody can do me but me. And the hashtag do you empowerment movement is just that, helping ladies discover themselves, who they really are. And once they begin to understand that they are an original, there's no value in a copy. If anybody is into anything that is of value and they're buying maybe art or diamonds or anything like that, they want the original, right? They don't want a copy because there's no value in that copy.
Copy.
The value is in the original painting, right? It's in the original diamond. It's in the original of what they are trying to buy that makes it valuable. And if ladies can only understand you are an original, you do not have to try to be somebody else.
That's why the original always costs much more.
And how there's only value in originality, there's no value in a copy.
There is no value in the copy. You said it so well. There's no value in the copy. So I wanna go back again because
Okay.
the reason I do this show is for life lessons that people are going to grab onto, people that are in this situation or maybe having this situation in the future. When when your husband was in that resting place, how did you navigate? Because it is a resting place. It's time for you, it gives you an opportunity to think about things that you probably wouldn't otherwise think about had it been that. So when he was in that resting place, how did you navigate? What are the steps that you took and wait until the resting place was over?
Okay. Well, number one, when he left, I was pregnant. So I had already had two daughters and I was pregnant with my son. So I knew I had to survive. If I was going to survive, I had to survive for them. And so I did. I made it happen. I had my son, I got a job, I worked hard. I said, you know what? I am going to succeed. I am going to be able to weather this storm, you know? Before, up until then, we were doing an illegal
Got you. Go
job.
ahead.
Right, right. So that's all I knew, correct? And so I said, you know what? Well, this is over. I can't just lay down and die now. I have to do something so that I can survive and my children can survive. And so that's exactly what I did. I got to work. I started working. I worked at a flower shop and I learned how to make flowers and I learned how to decorate. I learned how to create things with my hands. I never knew how talented I was in that area of being able to decorate and create things. And I use that to this day. To this day, I am a creator and a decorator. I decorate my home. I decorate for Christmas. I decorate parties and, you know, all different things that I would have never known I was capable of doing if I wouldn't have landed that job at the flower shop that got me going. And so that's what I did. I had my son. My husband was on vacation for 4 years.
Mhm.
And so during that time, I made value of who I was. And so, of course, I was introduced to the Lord and I went to church and I started building my relationship with him and I started getting rid of old acquaintances, anything negative, anything that was going to try to stop me or hinder me from moving forward, or anybody that was doubtful of what I was trying to do. I had to let them go. I knew that the only way that I could keep moving forward is I had to stay positive. I had to stay encouraged. And so my sister-in-law came alongside of me and she would almost every day speak life into me, tell me who I was, tell me why and how I could do what I was born to do, and encourage me and empower me and speak, the word of the Lord over me. And every day she would do that. And there was times that I felt, this is impossible. There's no way I could do this. I'm young. I don't have, the education, the higher education to go forward and become successful. But it wasn't education I needed. It
Mm.
was the ability to fulfill my purpose and call that I need to recognize inside of me that um, got me going. I did go back and get my higher education, and I love learning, so I'll never stop learning because that's what I love to do. But at the time, I didn't realize that that's not what I needed. I needed to understand who I was. I need to discover the true Linda Lara, who she was, what she could do, what she was made of, what were the possibilities that she was able to bring forth so that she could bring value to her life and then begin to bring value to others. Decorating the flowers, I was able to make somebody happy on their birthday, right? Make wedding bouquets that were going to, bless somebody on their wedding. Little did I know at the time, I thought I was just making arrangements
Mm,
until I realized that these arrangements and these, these decorating things that I was doing was making other people's wedding successful, making other people's birthday parties happy, right? And see, that's the life lesson I learned, that our gifts, our abilities, our talents are not just for us. We are able to use those and bless the world with what we have inside of us. And that is why it's so important to discover the true you. Who are you really? What were you created? Nobody was put on earth just to take up air, right? Every person is here on purpose for God's purpose, so that your design, your story can help build somebody else, and that they can begin to walk out their story. They can begin to live in their true identity. A lot of us walk in a false identity because we believe the negativity that somebody else told us. Oh, you're no good. Oh, you're never going to make it. Oh, your husband's in prison. What good are you going to be? Oh, you have 4 children now. You're trying to live on your own. How are you going to be successful? And all these negative things that people try to tell you. And if I would have listened, who knows where I'd been right now. But I had my sister-in-law, right, who
yes,
came
yes.
alongside of me and told me different.
And that's why it's so important. You said it so well. That's why I believe that it's so important. Even if you stumble in life, because we all stumble, in different ways, in different areas, to find, in order to get away from that, to find somebody else that is positive, to surround yourself with positive people and get away from situation, anything, people that are going to make you remain in that situation. And your sister-in-law was that woman for you. That was
Yes, she
that
was.
was awesome. That was awesome, because there may be people that can see this, and your story, your life lesson is going to be able to help them as well. So talk to me about do you movement, because that's really huge. And
Yes.
I serve women, helping them narrate their story. And I know what they can do once they realize the power within them. Once they realize that what you went through in life becomes a fuel for you to help other people. You see yourself no longer as a victim, right? It's amazing what those women can do. So talk to me about do you movement.
Well, and the do you movement is just that. Do you. Stop trying to compete, stop trying to live up to somebody else's standards, and just completely do you. I love do you, because when you realize that who you are, you'll realize you're not in competition with anybody, because nobody can do you but you. So once you begin to understand that you don't have to try to be like anybody, you don't have to try to look like anybody, you don't have to talk like anybody. All you have to do is do you, and you're successful, because the success is in you. And where we trip ourselves up is when we're trying to be someone different than ourselves, when we're trying to, act like someone else, or talk like someone else, or what do they say, keep up with the Joneses and all these other things that, people tried to do, because they think that there's no value in themselves. No, the value is in your originality. So all you have to do is do you. And when you begin to discover who exactly you are, then it's as easy as breathing, right? We don't and then try to breathe, right? We don't have to work ourselves up to breathe. We're naturally breathing because that's what we do to survive. So when we discover who we are going to survive our everyday life being successful, because the success is in who you are. The success is not who in somebody else is, and now you're trying to measure up, or you're trying to copy, or you're trying to imitate them. No, the success is being you. And so that eliminates all competition. It eliminates, right, all of trying to do or be somebody that you will never be. I will never be anybody but me. And when I begin to discover who I was, then I begin to enjoy being me, because now it eliminated all the stress, all the competition, right? All the trying to act like somebody or be like somebody or think like somebody else. And now I just breathe and wake up realizing that it is me and only me that I have to be today.
You know, it's so easy for both of us to sit here and talk about this because we've been through it and we overcame. And we're now serving other women to let them know there's power in who you are. Everybody else has already been taken. You are the only thing left. So what do? You grab onto yourself and go to work. But in this social media era, it's tough. It's tough because when you can, I can only speak for myself, right? But I can always speak, but I can also speak for the women that I serve. That you get on social media, the rest is history. You get on social media and so busy looking at other people without knowing what's going on behind the closed door. You're looking at other people and you're judging yourself based on what you see on social media that other people are doing or saying. And all of a sudden you shrink where you don't want to come out because you don't look like those other people. Now talk to me, when these women come to you, what are the challenges that they face?
Well, number one, you have to know the truth. I like to say truth versus what's true. Okay. It's true that these ladies look successful. It's true. You can't deny what you're seeing. It's true. But the truth is they all have a story. The truth is they did not get there overnight, right? It's true that they look great. They sound great. Wow, look at that. But the truth is that they discovered who they are, and they're only walking out in the confidence. The Bible says that we are wonderfully and marvelously made. They're walking in that truth. Okay. And so now you're seeing the true story of who they are. But that's the first thing I have them do. Realize that the truth is they are wonderfully and marvelously made, because that's the way God made them. Everything else is false identity, because a lot of women walk in who someone else told them, right? You're too fat, you're too skinny, your hair's not nice, you can never do this. And that's what they walk out. But that's not true, right? The truth is they are who God created them to be. And so I help them discover who they really are. And how do you discover who you really are? What do you really enjoy doing? What makes you happy? What gets you excited? What is it that you love? I love learning. Every time I learn something, I feel like the scarecrow on the Wizard of Oz. I got a brain, right? And I didn't realize that this was part of who I was until I discovered that if I continue to do that, I could have the Future Lead Academy and be, right, the founder, the professor, the director of a full accredited school. I just didn't become this, right? I discovered that as I continued to learn and I enjoyed learning, that wow, everything I learned, I could help others learn this. And I could have, women and even men now, because men come to it now because they seen how great the women were doing and they don't want to feel left out. So I even have men now. And it was all because I discovered that as I learned, I could help other people learn. So you have to discover, what are you good at? What's we like to call it your sweet spot. What excites you? What motivates you?
Mhm.
And then those things is what you build upon.
And as you are talking, I'm thinking about such academic, and which is similar,
Yeah.
basically what we're talking in a
Yes.
different language, right?
Yes.
Discovering who you are, what you are made of, because what you're made of is different from what people are telling you you are. And oftentimes I find that we lose ourselves in trying to become that person people expect us to be. And if you're not that person the world expects you to be, perhaps you don't fit in, perhaps you don't belong, perhaps you are not intelligent, perhaps you are not smart. And the other way part of it is the such academic is saying, hey, you're gifted in something else. Dr. Christy is gifted in something else that Dr. Laura is not gifted. Why don't I just expound on it? Because when I expound on it, no one has to teach me. And even if I have to learn other ways to do it, it's already in me. And you can see the difference.
Yeah.
Learning versus doing it your way. It's totally, totally different. And so talk to me. When these women come to you, they're down because they have not discovered the greatness within them. And then after you work with them and they get out, what are the results that you've been seeing?
Oh, amazing. I have entrepreneurs that have created their own businesses. I have I have this one woman who was very shy, very low self-esteem. Her husband called me to tell me, "What have you done to my wife?" She is a totally different woman. I'm so excited now to see her flowing and glowing and growing in who she really is. I've always seen this in her, but when I tried to convince her, she would not believe it. But now that she sees you and other women becoming who they are, she is just thriving. Oh my God. And I have women that are starting their own businesses and just going for it, just loving it, and it was already in them. It was already in them. So all I did was pull it out of them. And we were talking about searchademics, and searchademics is all it really is being good at what you're doing, right? Being good at what you're doing. We're always looking for other people's, ideas, and trying to, to copy them, or, trying to be successful all over their creativity. But you have a creativity. What is your creativity? What are you good at? And when you discover that, it becomes natural. I now know that I know how to create with flowers. I just get flowers. People look at me and say, "Ha!" Especially for Christmas, because I make bows and I decorate my
Mhm,
Christmas
mhm.
tree, and I decorate my whole house, and people, and then of course I post it on Facebook, and people's like, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And to me, it's like, "What do you mean? How do I do it? That's just natural. I just do this, and put things here and put that there." But I had to discover that gift in me. I had to discover that talent in me. I had to discover that I could do that. And that's exactly because I was able to discover my gift, my talent. That's exactly how I can help other ladies discover their gifts and talents.
You know, what we're talking about, and I will never forget watching, I think it was a TV show at one time when I used to watch TV, not anymore. I
Yeah,
rarely watch TV these days.
me too.
But anyhow, because the news is so sensational. So anyway, then I'll never forget watching a medical doctor. So you know
Mm,
how many years it will take you to be in medical school. And after a few years of practicing, he got out and he became a chef. I couldn't really understand, like, are you serious? Being a medical doctor and you went from that to being a chef? But I get it now. Because the guy said that throughout the time that he was working, he was miserable. He was
mm-hmm.
miserable. It wasn't what he wanted to do, but the parents wanted him to go to medical school because it's so prestigious. Come on,
Yes.
a medical doctor. But can I just tell you, what doing what he was doing, being a chef, every morning he said he loves waking up. His face lights up. And the day he resigned as a medical doctor was the happiest day of his life, he said. And remember sitting on the couch saying, what? How? I didn't get it then, but trust me, now I get it. Because there's nothing as waking up every morning looking forward to doing what you're doing. And it's sometimes it's not even a question of money. It's the joy that it gives you, that you're able to help somebody else. And yes, we want to make money because we gotta put food on the table as well. But there's this joy when you discover that inherent gift in you that traditional education doesn't get you, but it's already in you. And oftentimes we discover it too late. But we discover it too late. But talk to me. I wanna know more about these women. Now, when they get out, and you shared with me what they've been able to do when they get out. What was their mindset coming in? Let's talk about mindset. What was their mindset coming in?
Well, the number one thing I want to say is that I'm able to do is give them confidence. Because
Confident.
confidence is the number one stopper. Anybody that does not have confidence or believe that the possibilities right there, they're not even going to try. So the first thing I have to do is build their confidence and change their stinking thinking. Okay.
Mm,
I call it stinking thinking because the way they think
about
hinders and
themselves.
stops them. Yes. So they have to, number one, believe that they are wonderfully and marvelously made. And the Bible even says that I know this full well. So you have to understand that. You have to know it. You can't just, say it, or you can't just, okay, well, maybe. No, you have to know it. You have to know without a shadow of a doubt that you are called to greatness. Number one, most ladies don't know what greatness looks like. So you have to help them understand what greatness looks like. Because most times we thinking you're great, you're being conceited, right? Oh, you think you're better
Yes,
than others, right? Because that's what people who are confident, right, are not shy to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm looking great today. And so I had to explain that greatness is not thinking you're better or conceited or right. It's actually who you are. And you have to see that you are great. Why are you great? Because we are in the image and likeness of God. He created in his image and his likeness. So to live anything less than that does not give God any glory, right? He gets the glory when we're walking in his purpose and his call. So we got to stand up, lift your head up, and be confident in who you are, whether people like it or don't like it, well, people agree or don't agree. So you have to shed off all that negativity and begin to build your mind in the mindset of greatness. And greatness is only being who I was created to be. I look like I look because this is who I was created to look like. I have my nose, my eye. It's amazing how people have two eyes, one mouth, and one nose, and all look different. That to me is crazy. Okay, but you have what you have, and this is what you work with. Okay, you work with you. You don't have anything else to work with, but with who you are. So you build that up. You build that up with your mindset. You begin to believe that you have this nose because it's the greatest nose that you could have. You have this mouth because it's the greatest mouth you could ever have. You have these eyes because they're the greatest eyes that anybody could ever have. Why? Because I'm created for greatness and everything about me is great. So putting that in. Now, the first time they're not going to believe that. The second time they're not going to believe that. But if it's consistent and continuously built up, why do we believe we can't? Why do we believe we're ugly? Why do we believe the negativity? Because somebody continued to put that in our mind, and we begin to believe.
So you see it everywhere you go. You see it on TV. You see it on social media. You see it with friends. You see it at work. It becomes normal, right?
So now you're switching that. You're switching that. You're switching it to now the positive, and you're hearing that every single day. And you have somebody coming alongside you, telling you that on a continuously basis. So now you're believing the truth of who you are. You know, it's so easy to believe the lie because you believe the lie that you're never going to amount to nothing. You know, you're ugly, you're too skinny, you're too fat. You believe that. It's easier to believe the lie. But now we're going to empower you with the truth. We're going to empower you with who you really are. And we're going to continuously remind you that you are called to greatness. And everything about you is great because God only creates great things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, as you are talking, I'm thinking about the confidence. The confidence. And I will never forget my very first video. And I love talking about it because that's one of the reasons I'm here. And I will never forget that it took me time. Can I just say? Can I just be honest? It took me time to do that video because every time I do that video, I would delete it, believing that it wasn't right. But what I did not realize is that unless I continue doing that video, I will never get better. There was no way I was going to get better by not doing the video. To get started is to enhance, is to get better. And when I got tired of being tired, I got tired. And if it wasn't for that imperfect video, let me tell you, if it wasn't for that imperfect video that was able to help another imperfect soul like me, I don't think I'll be talking to you today. I am not a videographer by any means, but guess what? I'm able to share my message and people can hear my voice. I'm able to impact other women's life and people can hear my voice. And so if you are listening to us, if you are watching us, we want you to know you cannot get to your destination if you don't start. You gotta start. You gotta go through the journey before you get to your destination. If you're waiting to get it right, to get it perfect, you will never get to your destination. And you talk about consistency. That's another one. And you'll be doing it. Some days you don't want to do it. Some days I don't even want to do anything, right? But I think about the impact. I think about the other people that I'm helping out. Sometimes you'll be weak. You feel you're tired. You got life. You're doing life. This is not the only thing, right? Depending on what's on your plate. But when you think about the positive part of what you're doing, you don't give up. This idea of lack of confidence is so huge on so many people, especially women. But the reason I believe lack of it or shy is there's something there. And oftentimes I say when I coach other women is finding out what is causing the lack of confidence. There's something there. And in my own case, it's coming out. English as a second language. That's not to say that everybody that has English as a second language don't come out and say or do what they want to do. But that was just me. That was my story. And so I was fearful. What if I forget everything I wanted to say? What if I blank out? If I stand up to speak and I blank out, what if no one understands what I was saying? What if, what if, what if, and what if, what if, what if? For so many women, what if is the reason they are stuck. That's what if is the reason they are sitting on the side and not doing the things that they know they do well. They know it's their gift. They know they can share and impact other lives. And so if you are listening to us now, just get started on what you want to do, because there are other people that are waiting for you, and they're going to continue to wait until you show up. Because this is what I have learned in my journey, is that there are some people that are going to hear you, and I don't care how good you are, they are not going to stop, they are not going to listen, they're just going to keep moving. Why? Because they are not your people. And there are people that are going to hear your voice, no matter how you sound, they're going to pay attention and listen. Why? Because those are your people. And so if you didn't get anything from what we're saying today, we're saying get started, because your people, they are waiting for you. And listen, you're not going to be comfortable until you answer the call. So today, answer the call. That's all about embracing your uniqueness is all about. So as we get to close of this conversation, I want you to, for all you've done, where you were and where you are now, take the stage and speak to the women out there, both the young one and the adult, how to navigate life.
Well, I just like to say you are on the other side of someone's success. If you do not get to your purpose, there's others that will never get to theirs. And I tell my students all the time, you know how I know this? Because you're on the other side of me getting to my purpose. You would not be in this school right now if I did not discover who I was and become the professor and start the Future Lead Academy. You would not be sitting there right now. How many people are waiting for you so that they could be on the other side of you? You are called to greatness. There's nothing that can stop or hinder you from becoming the best version of you but you. Nothing and no one can stop you but you. And why do you want to stop when there's so much that you have to offer? A lot of people say, what if this happens? But what if it doesn't? What if it never happens? But what if it does? You have two choices, right? Failure or success. I like to think success all the time, because I know that I now know that the only reason I was able to break through is because I shifted and changed my focus on who I truly was, instead of looking to other people to tell me who I was. And
awesome. Well said, well said. So tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you. If anyone want to work with you, how can they contact you?
Well, number one, my website is www.thefuture-elite.com, or you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook on the hashtag #DoYou, or Dr. Linda A. Lara, or you can email me at linsonlara1@yahoo.com. And I would love to help you discover the true version of your greatness.
Awesome, awesome. Audience, thank you all for watching. And don't forget that loving is sharing. And when you share this message, you never know who's been wanting to get such an information to help them move ahead. And if you don't share the message, they may not be able to get that information. So as you watch this video, go ahead and share it out to so many other people so that their lives can also be impacted. Now, listen, If you have stories, overcoming stories, and you know that is going to help our listeners navigate life, please go ahead and I'm going to put the link to contact me. And when I'm not doing this show, again, I have female entrepreneurs create impactful and captivating stories that align with their offers so that they can convert sale. Until next time, don't forget to join us next Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you so much, Dr. Linda Lara. I appreciate you being here today. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Christie. What an honor.
Bye, everybody.